Hello, everybody. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Welcome to Tarot Exploration. This is a new weekly show that we're starting. Each week we'll feature a different tarot expert who will talk about their own experience with tarot, learning tarot, how to use it in their practice in their life, and share their expertise. And then we also sell products that are tarot related, so we'll kind of share those with you. But each week it's going to be great and live 7 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays right here on the Tarot Exploration Facebook page. So Jen, thank you so much for being our guest. Jen is a coach, facilitator. You do tarot readings, but you do a lot more. Can you tell us a little bit about you and how awesome you are?
Yeah, totally. So I am an emotional mastery coach. I work with men and women to help them be able to basically hold their emotions with more capacity and really expand into the fullness of their range, which I have found is the key to living a really amazing life. Rather than kind of like staying small and really struggling with a lot of my clients struggle with fear and stuckness and knowing what they want even, but being afraid to reach for it. So that's what I do. I help people basically reach for the lives that they want and live extraordinary lives.
Awesome. And you have a background. You're actually a professionally trained counselor, right? Yeah,
I am. Yeah, I have a master's in clinical counseling and worked originally as a social worker. So I did a lot of trauma work in my previous profession and eventually moved out and started working with people kind of on all realms. But yeah, so I definitely have a lot of training, a lot of background in somatics and leadership and professional counseling.
That I think is important. People go to coaches for different reasons and course facilitators, but depending on what your challenge is, I think it's a really good idea to, maybe go to somebody who has more robust training, shall we call it. So I think that's a asset that you have.
Absolutely. It is something that is true about the coaching world that I see sometimes is that it's one of those like anyone can call themselves a coach and not everyone has the skills or the background or the training to back it up for sure.
So I recently sent Jen a client. Somebody came. I do some e-commerce coaching. I help people with Amazon also, but she came to me and she's done a lot of work with me over the years. And she was like, all right, I need help with this. And I knew her well enough to know that she had already learned all the stuff she was asking about. And this happens to so many of us. The block to the next thing, it's not really that you don't have that skill or that whatever. It's that there's some emotional thing that is what's stopping you. And I knew that I really wasn't able to help her with that. But so I sent her to Jen and she told me it's going really well. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. She's so sweet. It is true. It's like so many of us, I relate this to like even like fitness so often because people really understand when we're talking about the body more than we understand when we're talking about the mind, that it's like, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it is the ongoing thing that I work with people. And I'm like, I can help with that for sure.
So, and that's actually kind of leads me into, my own journey with tarot has been delving into how to release those obstacles and identify them better on a kind of day-to-day basis, even in order to move into more success. So
absolutely.
Hello we have Nicole live and we have Christy live. Thank you two for joining us live, and for those of you watching the replay as well. So welcome. Okay, and if you hear giggling in the background, that is my son. He's sitting at his desk in COVID world. We share an office now because we both work in school in the same space. So he's over here watching a video giggling, in case you're wondering what that giggling sound is.
Yep, I know that one too.
So Jen, tell me a little bit about how you got started with tarot, a couple kind of key things.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people, I got started just because I was drawn to it personally and really was like curious about wanting some like I loved it when people did readings for me. Eventually I got a deck of my own and just started playing with it with my own life. For me, it was a way to access, it still is a way to access my um, I use it as a way to access my subconscious and my intuition, really. I am very science based. I do have a master's in science, and so people are often like, "Wait, you do tarot readings? Like, isn't that a little woo?" And I'm like, "Yes, and I view it as like there is a certain energy behind it that I don't always understand. And also, it's so often just a way for me to get clarity on things I probably already know, but are sitting in the background.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, Carl Jung did a lot of work with tarot, and there have been sort of more intellectual lookings into tarot. But we're not really here to convince anybody about tarot, but to
Yeah.
explore it and enjoy it together. Okay, so can you tell me? Now, you were telling me earlier a little bit about your favorite deck. Can you show
Mhm.
which deck you're using?
Yeah, so I use a deck. It's called the Prisma Visions deck. And it comes in this lovely box if I can figure out where the camera is. And so I love this deck. The cards are just absolutely stunning. They're full of lots of color generally. Yeah.
Showing
And
you guys the deck here. This is her favorite deck.
it is a beautiful. One of the things I love about it that I haven't seen in other decks is that he really created it as a full story arc. And you know me, I'm also a storyteller. I'm a writer. I love writing. So I love that piece of it that if you put all of the cards together, it creates like a full vision.
That's great. So, did you just find that one day in a shop, or how did you kind of come to? I know that I sometimes, like when I'm picking out a deck, I'll be like, oh, I'm really feeling connected with the animals. I want to find an animal deck, or sometimes I'm reading a book and they suggest a deck. How did you find that one?
This one a friend of mine had, and she was doing a short reading for me off of it. And I was like, what is that deck? I could just tell it was really different and beautiful. And so I ordered one of my own. And it
Cool.
has become my favorite. Yeah.
All right. So we had a few live people, and I don't know if they're still with us. But we are prepared to do a couple of live readings tonight. If you would like one, you can post your question in the comments.
Yeah,
Jen,
absolutely.
for you. And if not, I may ask a question. And then we can do maybe a general one.
That would be great.
Well, my question is, can you pull a reading for this new method of communicating with people, this tarot exploration kind of whatever
Ooh,
podcast, video, whatever you want to call this whole content thing? Can you?
that's so fun. Like based off of this like idea of communicating and doing these. I love that. I can absolutely do that. Okay. I think it's such a fun idea. But yeah, we'll see what the cards that come up for us. So we'll pull two cards.
Okay.
And just see how they influence each other for this one. Let's see.
I love doing tarot readings. It's one of my favorite things.
Me too. So the cards that came up were the Empress. It's a beautiful card. And the Queen of Swords.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So the Empress card is really about like it's this beautiful energy, and I love this card because as you can see, it's a woman who's lifted up by the wind. right? And she's surrendered, she's not worried, she's relaxed. She's really being held by the energy around her, by the earth. And just it's like very feminine, and but also still very like in her power. So this one, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is definitely, so this is really about taking that like queen energy, right? And using, and like the way that we use it with our minds, like really stepping into a whole new clarity of thought, a new clarity of vision. It's like, this is kind of like, it's very like this very powerful, boundaried, beautiful space. You can see in the card, there's a giant swan, and it's like, she doesn't, like, she has full control of the swan, but by simply holding the beak, right? Like, it's like, she doesn't have to have giant control over the entire thing. It's like, nope, we're just going to like keep your beak closed, and like, I will lead you where I want you to go. So the two cards together, I would say, personally, I would say that they speak really well to this idea. Absolutely. Right? Like the beautiful surrendered energy of the Empress, along with the Queen of Swords, who's like, I've thought this through. I know what I'm doing. I'm like steering the ship. Like, I'm ready to step into this next piece.
Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good.
Reading. So we have somebody live. Thank you for tuning in live. Candy is here and she would like a reading.
Great.
If it's okay, before we go into her reading, I want to take I have a question for you, and then we're going to do Candy.
Absolutely.
So the question is, do you have like, how did you learn how to like remember the cards and do the readings? How did you teach yourself, or did you take a class? What was your training?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I think people do this in a lot of different ways. Personally, I took a class. I had been working with tarot for a long time, and had definitely still was using the book quite a bit. And then I took a class with a friend of mine who is a tarot card reader and has been doing it for a long time. And it was like helpful to understand some of the bigger concepts and pieces. And she really helped us to learn how to get off the book, basically.
Right.
And I still absolutely do use the book from time to time. And it's really helpful to like balance, I think, between that and intuition. But I also am a big believer in actually like looking at the cards and seeing like, what does that picture represent for that person and their question.
Awesome. I'm also going to do a little show and tell here.
Yeah.
This is a great book too, if you're looking for a down to earth book.
I like it.
Sinova, because it's very like sitting. I mean, I'm kind of the kitchen table witch kind of person. I don't have fancy tools. Like, I just kind of integrate into my life. And so I love, she's very down to earth.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a very accessible way, because some of the tarot books are really intellectual, and it's a great book, and you can see I've highlighted the heck out. I don't know if you see, I've highlighted and read it a million times. I've read other books too, but this is really the one that got me from liking tarot to feeling like I could do readings as well. So I highly recommend that.
Awesome.
All right, so we have Candy in the audience, and Candy would like to know, how soon will she be in a relationship, and will it be with Russell?
Okay. So let's see what we have here.
There goes my little guy walking behind me.
Okay. It's always kind of tricky to read specific situations, right? Because You never really know, and we only have control over ourselves. But okay. So, Candy, your cards are the Two of Pentacles. There you go. Yeah. And the Lovers.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the Two of Pentacles, Pentacles is really of the earth. So that often speaks to, it can speak to material possessions, it can speak to money, but also can just think, you can think of like any emotions that are earthy. So like grounded, like safety is a big one too, where like groundedness, safety, security, belonging, right? All of those are really like qualities of the earth, right? Solid, stable. So the Two of Pentacles, you can see this guy he's seen on the wall. He's like juggling, right? This really speaks to like the start of a journey. And it's early. It's very early on in this journey. So two is really like, it's like we're still moving. There's probably obstacles coming up along the way. Like you're nowhere near the end point, but you've started. You're on the journey. You're moving forward. And things are starting to look up, and there is definitely some possibility there. And your second card is the Lovers. And look, this beautiful card, right? It is the dance, like they are mid dance. And I will say the Lovers, well, it's definitely a positive card when it speaks to like this particular guy that you asked about. It doesn't, there's clearly never any guarantee, but also this card can really just speak to, again, like the start of a love affair. And it doesn't always speak to that love affair working out. So, so it is like, it's like you were in a dance. So like, I think it's fair to say that you've started a dance, right? There's a song playing, and whether or not you'll continue with that particular partner, like, remains to be seen.
All right. That was a great reading, Candy. I hope you're happy with that. Would love to hear your comments about it. All right. So next we're going to talk, Jen's going to share a little bit about what she's up to and how you can connect with her. And then I'm going to share a little bit of my stuff. And we're going to do this every week with a different amazing tarot reader to come in. And so tune in live, tell your friends to tune in live, and please share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. So let me show your website here, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go.
Perfect. So you guys can find me online. I'm currently running a new program. It's called Be Your Boundaries, that starts in November 2nd, around living and breathing your boundaries, like from a really embodied, intuitive place, stepping into your greatest desires and calling in the life that you want. So that is open now for enrollment. It's open. We start November 2nd, so heading straight into election season and the holiday season, and a time when often we have a lot of big emotions happening and a lot of things pulling and a lot of need for very clear but beautifully, masterfully set boundaries. So if anyone's interested in that, you can definitely read more on my website or reach out and talk to me. I also am taking one more one-on-one client this year, and there's a spot to book a discovery call. And I do tarot readings. So if you would like a more thorough reading, we can do that either live or I do them as well on Voxer and record them and go back and forth. And you're welcome to just reach out and email me from my website on that.
All right. So her website is it's not the, I was going to say that, but that's not her address. It's emotionaldominatrix.com /boundaries is her new program. And that is how you can reach her. And then I just wanted to do a little plug for our shop. We sell tarot stuff along with some other stuff. The easiest place to get us right now is on Etsy. We also are located in other marketplaces and web places, but I'm just going to share this for now. But the Empress, which came up in my reading, we actually have an Empress mug, which I designed. So that's my.
Ooh, it's so pretty. I love it.
Thank you. And then we have licenses for Radiant Rider and Morgan Greer decks. So we have some lovely, lovely work from them, and we're always releasing more stuff. And then we just have some kind of fun feminist stuff, mugs, and we also sell decks as well. So all of our decks come with a journal, a crystal, and a tarot bag. So it's kind of ready to go. And there's just all different kinds of decks here depending on what you're into. So that is us, Hunt Girl Gifts, on Etsy. And let me turn that off. All right, do we have any questions? We had somebody else ask for a reading. We actually only did 2 readings tonight. So that's our free readings are 2 each week. So please come back next week and see if you can get a free reading next week. Or you can reach out to Jen privately to schedule a session with her. But tune in here each week and get in early if you want to get your reading. I don't know how we'll do it, if we're going to do it just first come, first serve, or going to come up with some kind of random generator or whatever. But for the moment, we got our first 2 people that asked tonight. So thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And Jen and I are both on Instagram. We're both on all the things. So you can find me at Tarot Exploration, at Hunt Girl Gifts, or at Cordelia Blake. I'm all over the place. So please reach out. And thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jen, for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was a ton of fun.
And yeah, we'll see you hopefully next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And please share this with your friends. Oh, and we also have a free Facebook group called Tarot Explorers for people to join and participate, share their journey there. So thank you so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Bye, Jen. Thank you.
Bye.